So let's say you're surging along and you have a thread break, and let's just say for argument's sake it's number 3 here, one of the lower loopers. So to mimic that, I'll just snip that there, and what will happen with our chain is it won't work. So all of a sudden, whether it's because you're rethreading and your knots pulled through using my previous video, or the thread's just broken, this is what you'll end up with. You'll go from a lovely chain to no chain at all. The first thing you need to do is to raise these needles to the highest point by rolling the needle towards you, the handle up. So we want these in the highest point possible. Next thing, lift this foot plate, and then using the release at the back, it's just a black knob, push it and drop the face plate off. Now you can see here, that's come away quite easily. You may need to lift the lever just a little bit more to help lift it up. If those threads get caught, just snip them, but make sure you've left a bit of a chain. Right, so we have our threads here. So snip them back so they're maybe 3 inches, 8 centimetres, 10 centimetres long. Now what you need to do is take something like a flat screwdriver, or I'm going to use my long nose tweezers, and I'm just going to swipe everything out of the way so all our threads are separated. And this is pretty much the key with rethreading an overlocker, a serger, is to make sure all these threads are separated. So once you have all the threads separated, it should be very easy to work out which thread is broken. So for this example, my blue is fine, but my green, which is the third one, my lower looper, has come undone. So rethread this. If you need to, come through here, down here, and just follow that threading diagram. So from here I need to thread the looper here. So one thing you need to be aware of is this thread here. Number 4 always needs to be under number 3. They need to be separated, so they need to be loose. And that's what you can see in the diagrams in your book. The third one goes through and is always seen going underneath and to the side of the fourth one. So we go from here through to here. And these long nose tweezers, long handled tweezers, are very handy. So pop that through and make sure that's correct. So you can see all 4 threads are independent of each other. Then take the needle, the presser foot again, and we want to put it back into the machine. And when we do it, we don't want any of the threads to get caught in it. So you can hold all 4 of them if you need to. Just put that back into position, and when you drop that, it should just snap into place. Now the next thing we want to do is pass these through to the back. We can still see they're independent of each other, and now these 2 top threads, the upper loopers, need to pass under the needle plate just like a regular sewing machine before we start. Now to check you've got it all in the correct place, just hold those 4 threads and using the wheel turn that towards you just a couple of turns and make sure that's chaining, which it is, in which case you can put your machine back together and check that the chain is fine, which it is. So let's now mimic this for the 4th one, the blue thread. So let's say we're surging along quite happily and our 4th one breaks. So just pull that through. So we're doing our sewing project and all of a sudden we have 3 threads. So take the cover out, off or open it, put your needles in the highest position. We want to make sure the looper is off to the side, by the way, when the needles are up at the top. I'm going to snip this back to about 8-10 centimetres, and I'm going to take the presser foot off. Then I'm going to separate the threads. So we just want the threads that we do have that are still threaded to be independent. And I can see them all like so. So now I'll rethread my 4th one, which is the blue one. It's still fine to 5. I go under here, 6, 7, and we go across to 8, which is pulling this latch open. Now to get this, I just put my fingernail on the loop, pass the thread through, and then slide the cover back in till it snaps. And then the last step of this is to pop that through here. And then that one needs to stay independent of 3, so it just comes over. So if you can see, all 4 threads here are independent. So just like before, I'm going to hold them and move them to the front so they're out of the way. I'm going to put my presser foot back in so the threads don't get caught. I want that to snap into position. There we go. And then I'm going to pass them through to the back. I'm just going to make sure those top 2 are underneath. I'm going to do a couple of chains just to make sure everything's correctly coming through, which it is, in which case we have it working again. So that is how I change just one thread colour without having to rethread the entire serger while I'm sewing. So thanks for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again soon.